Barry? Absent. Corey?
Here.
Brad?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Shanda?
Here.
David is absent.
Thank you. Item B, the approval of the minutes from the April 16th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve when you're ready.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve April 16th meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Corey?
Yes.
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 Okay, motion passes. Item C, number 1, April 2024 finances.
In your packet, finances the finances are attached to your packet. I have nothing specific to point out, other than in the second one, the camping and revenue or an oil revenues, just to point out that so far we're about $30,000 that we've received in camping revenues, and our budget for the year is $60,000. So, we know that about 10,000 of it is those seasonal sites at Blacktail. So, but we're still ahead of pace of any other year. So that's good. Lots of reservations. You look ahead, the holidays are getting booked up, and now that we saw a big rush on those holidays right away, and now we're starting to see all the other weekends and times starting to get filled in too. So I think we're kind of crossed a little hump with educating people on the reservation system and moving forward. So I think it's going well. But if there's any other comments about any financials or questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, any questions? All right, item 2, 25 budget.
So the 2025 budget, we're going to shoot to have that approved at next month's meeting. I have already set up meetings with Christy to work through that, and I've started working on the budget for next year. The one thing I did want to bring up about the budget is a couple months ago we talked about those trailer stages. I do have two quotes in there. One of them does not include shipping. Just wondering if that's the direction we want to go. I think it would be a good asset for us to have, but it's something that when we looked at before, it was a year out for ordering. So I talked to him today, and he said he could have it here by November, but I don't know if November helps us out much. Something that we talked about before doing, we've kind of started the path with designing some parking areas in our amphitheater in Coda Ray, and the idea is that all of our parks will be able to pull up a little stage, and whether we use that for music events or as a centerpiece or as a place to announce and keep track during the fishing derby or any other events. I think it's something that we'll be able to use, and then moving down the line, if it's something the commissioners want to, I think it could be an asset to our community for some other events as well. So that's one request I had. Just wanted, like I said, I brought up a couple months ago, seeing if you guys are okay with us moving forward with that and including that as part of our capital improvements. I know that the original plan was that we budgeted $30 million for improvements and then $5 million for equipment or contingency. So I would like to include that as part of our equipment in that overage. But I'm looking for your opinions. I think your opinions count a little bit more than mine.
So is the $120,000, does that include the stuff down here at the bottom? The options, or is that more?
That the options would be more. Which one are you looking at?
Well, I'm just looking at that first one. Yeah, well, it's got the stage line. I guess it's the stage line SL 75. I was just trying to wrap my head around what a number it would be. I mean,
If
are we
you-
talking 160,000, 150?
It looks like in the top right-hand corner of that one page, it says standard equipment 90, options, accessories 23, services, and then subtotal is 119,850. See that?
Okay, and that's the one that doesn't have shipping on it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think it'd be a great asset for not only our parks, for everybody in the community to be able to use. I think we should look at putting it in the budget, just my opinion.
Yep, they're two different companies, but they're very similar. Yeah, they both look like a box trailer, and then they're both mechanical. For the most part, a lot of it is push a button. Both of them. I've watched the videos. They say 2 guys, 15 minutes can have it set up, and they both run some motors and a little bit of manual labor as far as attaching, especially like if you end up getting places to do like advertisement banners and things like those, to put those things on. But for the most part, they're pretty foolproof. And then just so we're on the same page, I'm just asking for it to be included in the budget. I would not make a decision on which one. I'm actually, these quotes are just a little bit old. I got those a couple months ago. So my intention is to get quotes with shipping, with everything, and then come back next month or before we order and then we make a decision on which one we're gonna go for. Or I'll make a recommendation or however that goes about, but I'm not planning on ordering one until we go through this again. I just want to include it in our budget.
Okay. Any questions or? I guess. Yeah. Include it in your budget, I guess, so.
Okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else on that. New business, emergency services truck.
Emergency Services has a truck that they are putting out of service. It's a 2015 Chevy 3/4 ton with a lot of upgrades. It's got a topper, got a pull-out toolbox, got a really good winch, got a cattle guard. Really nice truck. It would become for sure one of the best trucks we have in the county parks. I have budgeted $20,000 for equipment purchases for this year. The price on that truck is $23,000. I'm seeking approval to purchase that truck from Emergency Services for $23,000.
Okay. Is there such a motion?
I would make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded to make that vehicle purchase. Is there any discussion?
Are we set on mowers and everything else looking?
Yep, we're set on mowers. We'll probably, I'll tell you what, if there's any piece of equipment moving forward that I would like, I'm getting close to needing a new Bobcat. The Bobcat I have, it'd be nice to have one that's high flow. It works, we get done with what we need, but we have different things that, it makes it tougher because just because we have to coordinate, because it's one thing, Dennis has all the attachments, that we can use, and Dennis is awesome with letting us use them. But a few of those attachments, specifically the wood chipper, or the stump grinder, I'm sorry, and just a couple other things, they need that high flow, and we don't have that. Like I said, our Bobcat is good. Carter gets a lot of work done with his Bobcat and his dump trailer. But that's the piece of equipment that, looking forward, that I think I'd like to replace sometime. Mowers, we're in good shape. We bought one new mower last year and one new mower the year before. So we're sitting pretty good in mowers. I'm not saying that, we don't want to fall behind, but
I think when we talked, the one thing you needed was a guy to sit on it at Blacktail,
I
right?
am looking for a guy to sit on a mower.
So if we got a guy with lots of time,
Yep.
not not the second or the third Tuesday of the month, but
Yep, I did. I'll tell you what, I had a fantastic employee that lived at Blacktail last year, and she still lives there, but she has her own reasons it wasn't able to work out this year. So if I was able to find someone that lived out at Blacktail to work for me, I'd jump all over it.
Okay, any other discussion on the vehicle purchase? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Brad,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Corey,
yes.
Okay, discussion items, LG Sonic.
So we are up and running. Last week we deployed the buoys. The week before we deployed the buoys, got them up and running. They are functioning. The team in the back's going to pull up. Last week, Lindsay and I were trained on how to use their software. They do have, this is the end of the year for the platform they use for their software. They've been working for quite a while now to upgrade, and they're going to be, end of summer, they're going to be upgrading this software. So just so it's easy, just so you can get more information out of it. I mean, we don't know what it's going to be, but I know that as we got trained, there were a few things that he said, oh yeah, the new version will have this, the new version will have this, new version will have this. But this is what we have. Like at any time, it's live. We can look back over as long as it's been in the water. We can pick the time frame. We can look at, temperature, turbidity, water quality, I can't say the word, the algae count. So yeah, it's pretty neat software. Really excited to get it going. But yeah, it's up and running. It was we spent 2 days getting out there. A special thank you to the Sheriff's Department and Ben White. They came out a couple times with boats and helped us get them out there, and it was nice. Ben was really excited about it too. He's been one of my biggest cheerleaders, telling everybody about the equipment. So really excited about this and moving forward with it.
Cool. Any questions?
Yeah, I just can't wait till the end of the season to see if they work.
Yep, and I mean, and I mean also, I mean, I want to thank, I mean, Ryan from IT went out, and we've sent, he went out and took a drone out there and took pictures of them all out in the water, so we got that, and Ryan's agreed that, as needed and works with his schedule, him or someone from his team will run out and take some pictures of the lake, especially, we all of a sudden see a hot spell, that's when it's happened before, all of a sudden we get up in those 90s, and, for a week or so consistent, and then boom, we see those blooms. As soon as we kind of have a stretch like that, sending those drones out there and getting some pictures and seeing where we're at. I still even like kind of look around and walk around at like, are they still going to get to the inlets? You know what I mean? Is there still going to be a thing where you get to the inlets? I'm really curious how it all works. So, but moving forward.
Okay. Water testing?
Last week, me and my staff, or a few of my staff, were trained on water testing at Epping. This year, we'll do it like we did last year. Me or my staff will do all of the creeks running in and out of Epping, and we'll do that once a week. And then every other week, the Soil Conservation District will do the lake sampling, and Game and Fish has agreed to help us out with that with a boat. And again, Ben has said if needed, he'd be willing to help out too, as long as it works with his schedule. But Soil Conservation has all the equipment, and it's expensive. When we caught up and got testing, I was getting trained on how to do everything without the soil conservation person, and I was kind of grilling the person how much everything cost. And there's one piece of equipment that you just drop down, and it measures like 5 different things, and you drop down every meter, and you take readings at every meter, and theirs was really nice, and the one that Soil Conservation's was a little bit older and not quite as nice. And I'm like, and she's like, well, you could get one of these if you want. And I said, oh, well, what are they running? 25 to 30,000. And I thought, for right now, we'll just use Soil Conservation. So, but they have all the equipment, and Isabella is kind enough to spend some time. We do So we will charge the state and they'll reimburse us for my time, but we'll charge the state for Isabella's time, and then we reimburse the Soil Conservation District for her time out there. So, and so it's not, we appreciate her time, but we're also paying for it. So it's, we're not taking advantage of anybody or anything. And then Soil Conservation does all that stuff themselves at Blacktail. They're doing all the creek sampling and the lake sampling. They have a couple people out there, Ron Raymond and Gary Lindsay are kind enough to donate their time and take them out on the boats whenever they need them. And I know there's a few other people that have been their backups, but so Soil Conservation takes care of all that. So it's nice that we're just consistently getting this data from our lakes to hopefully keep improving them and make them better. So yep, we're off and running with that. And then just since we're talking about water testing, we are doing water testing. I've kind of taken on the harmful algae bloom water testing for Williams County. So if there's some bloom in some other lake, whether it's ours or, McLeod had to test a couple times last year. I've kind of taken on that part in exchange for the Soil Conservation District helping us out. Again, same deal. They reimburse me for my time and mileage for when I do those things. So, and then we got the water up and running out of our well at Little Egypt, so we do water testing there. Just throw that out there while we're at it. So this week tomorrow morning I'll be making the rounds, doing all the water testing.
Okay. Looks like we're to septic system stuff in Blacktail.
Yep, to start with, we've talked about a lot of things. We're not really sure where we're at and who has what and how everything works. One of the last things we want to do is as we go and make improvements and out to the park out there in our area, all of a sudden go till up or go dig up right through someone's drain field. And we don't know for sure what's all out there. And a lot of people I've talked to said, I don't know what we have. I'll have to find out because they bought the house from someone else and it was just in. So Lindsay helped me create a survey. We've already been getting a lot of people to turn their survey results in and just trying to figure out, pretty simple survey. It's included in there. Do you have a tank? Do you have a drain field? When was it installed? When was it last fixed? When was it last pumped? And just try to get an idea of what's going on out there so we can make sure we're all on the same page. I did attend the Blacktail Dam Home Association meeting a couple weeks ago and handed out the survey to everyone. And Don Eggy's kind of agreed. He's the association president. He's kind of agreed that he'll spend this summer getting everybody to get that filled out and really working on them. Don's a great asset for us to have as that association president. He cares a lot about that Blacktail and the park and everything about it. So everybody was kind of on board, understanding what we're doing, making it clear, hey, we're not trying to catch you if the previous owner did something without a permit. We're not trying to catch anybody and get them in trouble. We just want to make sure everybody knows what's going on and we're moving in the right direction. So with that, we do have two different people that have approached this board about putting in a drain field. Blaine Biella and Brian Klaus. They both have gone through and worked with Dana at the health unit and filled out all the paperwork they need there, and they're just waiting for approval from this board. So I'm seeking for both of those agreements that Karen prepared. I'm seeking a motion to approve Bo to sign them.
Okay, is there such a motion?
Just quickly, Blaine Biella explained where he's putting his, and there was no issues with that.
Not according to the health unit. I talked to Dana about that specifically because I was wondering too, because it sits in a pretty low spot,
Yeah, he's going across the road into park property, I assume.
Yep. He already, no, he's not across the road yet, but he is going across the road. Right now, he's on his side of the road right now.
With just a holding tank. I don't believe he has a drain field.
No, he has a drain field there.
He does in that area, huh?
Yep.
Anyway, is he gonna go into our tree rows?
No,
Oh,
he's not getting out into the trees. He'll
Okay.
stay in that little spot that he's got mowed, that he's parked his stuff there. Yep,
semi there.
yep, yeah, he said he's not getting into the trees.
I'd make a motion to approve both and authorize the chairman to sign.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded to approve. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Master plan implementation update.
All right, real quick, we, everything's been out to bid. Bids came back really positive for the most part. There was a concern with electrical. There was a concern with electrical and then masonry. The masons had, they didn't have final documents for the bathrooms, and the masons, there was a couple questions they had. They had thought they had sent enough along to get bids, but then when it turned out there were a couple things they weren't sure of. So they're working through those things. I think the biggest thing was how the roof attaches to the rest of the building. So that was kind of holding them back on pricing, but they weren't too worried about that one. The electrical is a little bit more of a they didn't have anybody place bids on plumbing, and I guess I haven't talked to J.E. Dunn since then. They weren't really concerned about that. They really felt like the plumbing work could very easily be a one-man job. So they felt like they'd be able to find somebody within their estimation that could get that work done. And then the electrical is the one that is the biggest concern. They initially had 3 companies that were looking at it, and then the day before bids came in, all 3 pulled out. And then so J.E. Dunn has gone to work, and their initial pricing estimate was about $275,000 for the electrical work. And then this last week, they started working with 4 other companies. 3 of them are local out of here out of Williston. One of them's out of Dickinson, to get pricing. The first one came back, and the pricing was at approximately $550,000. So we started digging in pretty deep, and we did find to start with the light poles. There are 11 of them between Coda Ray and Lookout. The light poles were coming in at about just a little over $18,000 a piece, which was extremely high. So we felt like pretty easily we could find a really nice light pole for more in that $5,000 to $6,000 range. So if you just look at that pricing wise, that's going to cut at least $130,000, $140,000 off where we're at, which gets us a lot closer to that estimate for electrical. We're not there yet with the estimate, but for everything else, we were under the estimate. So we're gonna be pretty close. J.E. Dunn expects, we were waiting for the final designs on those bathrooms, which are coming this week, and they expect that by the end of this week or beginning of next week, we should have all pricing in, and within the next month or so, start working on it. Moving forward, the one other issue with the electrical, I guess I didn't mention, the reason that those last 3 companies pulled out at the last minute was timeline. They were concerned about meeting the timeline. And when they had initially did their estimates, they went through and got pedestals and wiring and everything, and there was a 4-month lead time on them. And then when they started looking deeper, and there were other control panels that they needed for these, and the lead time on those was about 50 weeks. So that's why people pulled out. They don't know how much they're going to be able to change from that lead time. There is a way to kind of buy your way up the lit order, but even that, you're like maybe going from 50 weeks to 40 weeks. So right now, our plan was always we were going to finish Coda Ray in probably November 1st was always the goal. So now what the goal is we're going to finish everything at Coda Ray except for those panels November 1st, shooting for getting those panels in April. And then J.E. Dunn estimates that electrical work with those panels will be 1 to 2 weeks long. So still have everything, have the park open and everything running by middle of May next year. So it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. We're still operating before next season. So that's kind of the timeline and goal we're going with. So real quick, we'll just show a couple pictures here on the screens. We do have, just to make sure you guys know where we're at. Is this? Oh, this is the Coda Ray one? You might need to zoom down on that picture. There we go. So that's what Coda Ray looks like right now, right? I mean, that's generally what it looks like. And then if you go to the next one, I think. The next page down. Right there. So that's what Coda Ray South is going to look like. See how we've kind of redesigned the campsites. All of those sites are now, all those sites you see in that egg shape are 55 feet long. And then the other thing is, as you come in there on the right-hand side, that little spot there, that's where the camp host will be. So we'll have the camp host as soon as you come driving in. And then on the very, very south end of that egg is that's where the restroom will be on that side. And then if you go all the way to the west, those sites, those are kind of set up for smaller campers or tent camping, something maybe, that more like 24-foot camper, and then tent camping on those sites there. The beach gets moved just a little bit. If you look, it's kind of a little more to the left. We're moving it there. We are relocating the playground. The playground is that triangle, kind of right in just above the middle of the screen there. That's where the playground. We're going to relocate that. But that's the general design of what the south of Coda Ray will look like. So then we can go to Coda Ray North next. And right now, Coda Ray North is just that field up there. If you look on the right side there, that's the bicycle playground we're putting in. And then up on the top, those are group RV sites. And then there's a big parking lot area in the middle. And then all the way to the left is that's a grass amphitheater, a lawn chair amphitheater. So it's just tiers down of grass, and then there's that pad that we would park that trailer right there, so we could pull right up and park it and go. And then south of that is a canoe and kayak launch. There is a new canoe and kayak launch going on the South Park too. And then that in the I guess east of the amphitheater is the restroom to the north. So that's kind of the general overall design of Coda Ray. And so if you want to go to the next one. Lindsay can attest, we spent a lot of time on bathrooms, and we're really excited about where we got and what we decided. It was a lot of work. Basically, we polled people, we asked people, we went all about, and we kind of came up with the consensus that everybody kind of liked these pods, where one pod, it has a toilet, a sink, and a shower in one. That way families could, people with young families could take their kids in there. They could all be in one unit. It's all there ready to go. So both north and south have the same design. They both have like I said, four units. Each unit has each of those things. Depending on what's going on, they can be locked separately if we don't want to have them all open, or if we have issues. So they can be kind of compartmentalized. The one on the north is the one that's shown here. We do have a little storage on the north. The one on the south is exactly the same except for without the storage. Yeah, it was a lot of work to get the bathrooms where we wanted. But we're there, and so those are the designs of the bathrooms. And if you want to go to the next one. Yeah, they are, right? That'll be nice. I mean, wow, what an addition to our system. So then this is the design of the bicycle playground. The initial design we had quite a bit less. We had budgeted for this amenity $200,000, and that's pretty much a turnkey. it's on a very flat area where it's going already. J.E. Dunn might have to do just a little bit of dirt work, but it's pretty much just ready to go. So this company, American Ramp Company, will come in and they'll do everything for it. The brown area is basically a small crushed rock, a gravel. I'm sorry. So the initial design we had substantially less than this. We had budgeted $200,000. We changed when pricing came in. It came in at just a little over 90,000. So then, knowing what our budget is, we kind of looked out and said, well, what else? Is there something else we could do? So this price comes in at right at 135,000. The things we had added were we'll start with number 9. You see those green lily pads, and they're down on the bottom, kind of bottom right. They're just an elevated platforms that you drive through. And then just going straight to the left of there, number 7 are those, they call them cattail solemn poles. And they're, I think they were 9 feet tall. And then they're cattails. And I really like the design they came up with, kind of keeping with nature and the area there. So those were an addition. And then number 1 and 2 are those tunnels. We only had one of those before, so now we have the number 2, the elevated tunnel. And then number 3, that rock ladder, that was added as well. So really felt like for that extra $30,000, really added a lot to what this was, and feel really good about it. Really excited about this. I've been showing this to everybody I can find, and everybody thinks it's just going to be a really neat thing. There's one other bicycle playground in the state. It's in Fargo. It's in a park called Madison Park. They have some other things that theirs is a few years old now, and rather than using rock as a surface, they used mulch. They hate it, but I know the park superintendent there really well, and been talking to him a little bit about maintenance and what they do, and just really the overall thing when I talked to him was that how popular it is and how much people like it. So really excited about that. Is that all 5? Did we have 5? That was it. So as far as Coteray and Lookout Park, that's what I got. I can tell you right now that we've learned about lead times and everything, we're already up and running going after Blacktail. Our plan is that next year we want to start construction at Blacktail. Brett, I believe, is on the phone right now. Brett from AGL is on the phone, and he's actually driving here up today, this afternoon. We're going to meet at Blacktail. He's already done all the base maps and kind of worked on all of that. And now he's going to be up here the next 2 days just with boots on the ground, kind of going through Blacktail and everything. And we're shooting for having all of our designs and plans here, end of summer, beginning of fall, and then getting those to J.E. Dunn so they can get those out to bid, and we can start running next year. So we've kind of, the architect side is, they're still heavily involved in Coteray and Lookout, but now that's a little bit more in J.E. Dunn's hands, and the architects are kind of we're going to start moving on to Blacktail to get done with that. So just keep moving. Once we get rolling here, I think it's just, it's kind of like right now I have this feeling like, God, I just want to get started. But once we get, shovels in the ground, it's just going to start going fast. So pretty exciting. I think that's all I have for master plan update.
Okay, Parks update.
Parks update, this weekend's Memorial Day weekend. We've had nice weather so far. We've had good numbers camping so far. We've kind of just been getting ready to go. Always kind of target Memorial Day as the big breakout opening weekend. Right now, as of this morning, we had 2 openings at Little Egypt, and that was because someone canceled. We have no opening, and these are just RV. I'm not including tent camping. We have some tent camping open at all of our parks, but 2 openings at Little Egypt, and they were just canceled this morning. We have 0 openings at Epping, and as of this morning, we had 6 openings at Blacktail for Memorial Day weekend. So it'll be a busy weekend. We'll be ready to go. The guys started mowing last week. We mowed every park except Coteray last week. Coteray just wasn't quite there yet. And then this week we'll mow every park again this week. So they'll be ready to go. We're gonna, end of the week, we're gonna go through and till up the beaches, make those nice. And then the crew is, we got a dock to put in out at McGregor. Gonna get up there and do that. And and then make sure we have firewood at all of our campsites. That's kind of our list of things to do. But we're excited for this weekend, kind of, that's kind of the big kickoff, so excited, ready to go. But I think all the parks are moving in the right direction.
Good. Ice machine lease?
Yep. Yeah, we did have one thing. I apologize. I didn't have it on the agenda. I did hand out a copy of the ice machine lease. We work with Ice Kings. My contact there is Reinhard Everett. They put in the lease. They put in the machine last year. I talked to him quite a bit and stayed pretty close with him. They didn't do as well as they would have liked. The machine was expensive, and then there was some startup costs as far as installation, paying an electrician, getting a plumber, doing all that. So they didn't do as well as they liked, but they're kind of in where they can't just wash their hands of it. They did trying to look for people to sell it, including to buy it from us, or for us to buy it from them. I kind of tried to wave away from doing that. I know that I did talk to another person with strong ties at Blacktail who owns an ice company, the guy that bought out the ice side of C&D Water. And I know he's talked to Ice Kings about potentially buying that machine. And I've talked to Blacktail Dam about the association, about them potentially buying it as well. And they're not against it either. I think we all agree that it's an amenity we don't want to lose. So while he is maybe looking at selling it, he can't just wash his hands of it now, because at least making some money is better than just losing all money. So he did ask 2 requests. He asked that if he could put in a vending machine as far as to be able to sell soda and water. So that's included in this lease. And then he also asked if we could drop his rent from $100 to $50. In the big scheme of things, it's 4 months. So we're talking, do we get $200 or $400? I'm not against it. Like I said, I think it's an amenity that we like having out there. So I'm okay with that getting $200 instead of $400 for the year. Oh, and then the one other thing that is included in the lease is some verbiage about who's responsible, that he's responsible if anything happens to it. He kept it stored out there over the winter last year, just because, disconnecting it and moving it and everything, and just making it clear that he can do that, but we're not going to be held liable for anything that happens if it is out there.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I don't have any problem with the numbers. Is there a way that we could put this on when people are making reservations so they know it's there? I mean,
Yep.
I know it's there, and I don't ever buy ice in town because I want to support that. So when we go out, we just buy ice when we get there. If we could throw it right on and say, hey, here it is, maybe it would help them out, because I think it's a great amenity.
Ice and wood, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, right. It's 2 more things. You don't have to run to the 13-mile because you forgot.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
great.
That's something easy. We have a lot of flexibility with what we can send out when people register for campsites. We can easily put, hey, we have an ice machine available, and we can put, this is how much it'll cost. Here's where it is. That's easy to do.
If we do that, just make sure he knows it's got to be working.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay. Second.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded to approve the lease agreement, authorize chairman to sign. Is there any discussion? Discussion, roll call vote, please.
Shanda,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
A backwards vote. Nice. Threw a curveball there.
Thank you.
All right, next meeting is June 19th.
Is that for real? Because isn't that Juneteenth?
Oh, do I have the wrong date on there?
I was
Oh,
gonna
I'm
say.
sorry.
Quickly, do
June 18th.
June 18th.
Sorry about that.
Does anybody else have anything?
I just want to make sure we're all aware that the township, Blacktail Township, may be changing board members due to Truckner moving into town. That may change a few things on the board at Blacktail Dam also, or it should. And probably the reason you can't get your person to work this coming summer.
It is, yep, that's the reason.
Have they chosen a zip code yet for their new city? No? Okay, just curious. Holy geez, congratulations, yeah. All right, there's nothing else good for the order, we will adjourn at 9:23.